Okay, folks, well, you've been asking for this one for a very long time, and with a new resource added with Lost Colony, I'm kind of curious how well this is going to go. So, first thing you need is a cooking pot. Second thing you need is a mind wipe character with all points put into crafting skill. There you go, right there. And as you know by now already, the common mushroom gives you a huge chunk of food once eaten. Common mushrooms can be found all over Lost Colony by harvesting the blue stemmy looking things that are all around the Revenant spawns here. Like, you'll get loads of them with any sort of berry gatherer. A Therizino especially is a great choice for harvesting mushrooms, common mushrooms, in the bucket load. But I'm curious within a recipe how well this goes. So what you need to do is make sure you make a note, and then you're going to put your notes in the cooking pot. Click on make recipe, and we're going to do a little test here. So first things first, we're going to just do a test to understand the values you're getting from one singular common mushroom. So we're going to eat a focal chili just to buff our making of this, and we're just going to call this shroom test. One shroom, make recipe, food test. So now with one singular shroom plus 15 crafting skill on top, we can see a food offering of 2.2 with a health regen of 7.25, as well as a stamina of 26, which ain't bad for one singular shroom. And perhaps more importantly, a weight of 0.1. So if we do that again, but this time do one with 10 common mushrooms, better shroom, and make that recipe, we're now seeing a giant improvement in that health regen of 63 health and 13 food, as well as 251 stam offered. But I'm not quite happy on the food with this as much as I'm quite happy with the weight, but really want to get that food up on this recipe. So alright, so what we're going to do here then is we're going to try a recipe with one common mushroom and one rare mushroom. An absolutely giant amount of stamina offered with that. Look at that stamina increase. Marginal on the food and marginal on the health. However, there is an ingredient that we know is great for recipes: element dust. And to keep things simple, we're going to take out the rare mushroom and we're going to put the note in. I'm going to have one element for now. One element with the common mushroom on top, and we're going to call this elemental shroom. Put some little bits and pieces to it. Change some colours to represent all the different pieces to it. Super yummy. Let's make this. And we can see from that a vast difference here. We can see a health of 19 now offered, food 14, and stamina 38. I can't believe the common shrooms skill. The stamina you get with the common shroom, that's insane. So, considering weight, I don't want these too weighty at all. We're looking to replenish health of at least 300, but at the cheapest costing craft possible. So, okay, whilst most meats do offer a much better value, raw meat is of course the most easiest to obtain in large quantities, right? So, one raw meat, one common shroom, one element, and you know what, for that stamina boost, one rare shroom as well. I'm going to call this Shroomy Delight. And now we can see an absolutely vast difference there. Look at that. 34 food, 34 health, 164 stamina. That's phenomenal. So, with that in mind, and considering we don't want to push the weight too much, because the more we add, the more weight there's going to be to these, and we don't want to make it too complicated, do we? We'll do 10 meat, we'll do 10 common shrooms. Because everybody wants element dust for element rather than being used for something else, we won't go too mad. We'll go for 2 elements, and we'll still throw in a rare mushroom as well. Why not, right? Because that stamina boost is insane. And 1 rare mushroom for that huge stamina boost. So I got a feeling this is going to come out well. Okay, super shroom. Give it a nice little colour. Mixing all the different ingredients that we just got. There it is, super shroom, super yummy. And make that. And look at the difference there, dude. 227 food, 227 health, and a wild amount of stamina on top. Considering the cost, an absolutely monstrous recipe. But I do want to increase that health regen just a little bit more. Because 227's nice. The food's easy, right? So we're looking to improve the health. I am also curious, though, if we take out the element dust recipe, how much of a difference that makes. So let's just try that a second. Right, we'll take out the element dust completely. Make that, and we'll call this mushroom meat sandwich. Doesn't look very healthy. And you can see the difference there by taking out the element dust that we're dropping. Well, not actually that much. We're going from 227 down to still 200, which ain't really that bad. That stamina's phenomenal. So let's simplify it even more and see how much the stamina is reduced by if we take out the rare mushroom. So it's a very easy recipe to make. Shroom meat sandwich. Okay. Actually sees a good enough stamina coming back through us without the requirement of rare mushrooms. Obviously, we've seen a massive improvement to stam with the rare mushrooms, but we don't need that. 263 is plentiful for the stam. So just with common mushrooms and raw meat, we're seeing a massive increase right there of 200 food and 200 health per eat. And that, in my opinion, is good enough. That's a great recipe. No one will ever have above 200 food. If you do, you're wild. And to have the health replenishment on top of 200, that's great. The weight is nice and low. It's 0.1. That's a really good recipe. Water, of course, is useful, especially on Lost Colony, because it drains all the time. And well, there's one recipe that's absolutely great for this, if you didn't know, and that are these aquatic mushrooms. I think 5 will be more than, in fact, you know what, I think 1 will do the job. Let's do 1 with 1. So we're going to change the icon to drink now instead, and we're going to call this, I don't know, aquatic shroom soup. Making that, we see a water replenishment of 26, which isn't too great, but we're also seeing a health replenishment, small health replenishment there, as well as stamina. But 26 isn't quite cutting the mustard there, so do the math. 5 should be more than enough. In fact, 4 should do the job, because who levels water? Aquatic soup. And there we go. And that's our water covered. 100 water, plus a bit of health regen, and a bit of stamina, at the cost of less than a handful of aquatic mushrooms. So now, if you don't know, the best way to play with these recipes is get an indie cooker, slap your recipes in there, aquatic shroom and shroomy meat sandwich, and then all we need to do then is just throw our ingredients in, and then we can just craft all. And there we have a recipe that spoils in a very, very, very long time and does weigh quite a bit. Obviously, the elemental dust is going to definitely reduce that weight. The recipe actually lied to me. But the aquatic shrooms, I'm excited to see these. Yeah, really weight-free. There we go. Offering plenty of water and not too much of a punishment to your weight. Realising the weight's a bit off, but that the common shroom's giving you way more health and the raw meat's giving you the food, but the raw meat is still giving you quite a bit more there. And because common mushrooms are really easy to harvest with like a Therizina or whatnot, or any berry gatherer for that matter, let's just see if instead of 10 mushrooms and 10 raw meat, we go for 20 mushrooms instead. Alright, let's make that. Let's see what we're looking at now. So look at the weight, 2.1. So the shrooms are taking up a majority of the weight. 2.1. Just thinking, is there any way I can drop that weight down any more? From 1.3 per stack. Because the drinks we've got to a really low stack. That's great. It's good health regen. That's great health regen. Health regen of 201. But we don't need that much food. But that's what the raw meat's offering. I guess we could make one with just half of each. Yeah, so instead of 10 of each, we do 5 shrooms, 5 common mushrooms, and 5 raw meat. Yeah, I mean, that's a really cheap, affordable recipe. It's giving you 100 health regen on top, and 132 stamina, and hopefully the weight should be halved. It's never going to be no aquatic shroom weight, but we're making 5 of those. That's an affordable weight. 3.5. That's a good recipe, man. And then obviously on your journeys now, put those in your hotbar and you're laughing. Food sorted. Water sorted. That's great. And again, obviously don't forget, crafting skill is the big one here. Crafting skill is what makes this important. Of course, your character level will make a difference. Mine being 143 and having that 1520 crafting skill makes a huge difference here, dude. Turning that crafting skill into 15.20. But worth it, right? Totally worth it. And again, especially don't forget, this is food that will take forever and a day to spoil. And that's worth its weight in gold. So I hope this has helped someone, because you've been asking for me to do a recipe-based video for the longest time. If it has, please do comment below. Until the next one, my name's Raasclark. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, peace out.